Okay, Zion, just introduce yourself.
Hey, my name is Zollicoffer.
And Zion is a senior, and today we are working on That's What He Said from Parade. Okay, so what I'm after is your method when approaching a new song of analysis on all fronts, like whatever you think you can get out of the song.
Okay.
To start making some very preliminary acting choices.
Yeah.
The idea is, though, that these choices are coming from what the writers have already written before you start putting your own whatever that might be.
Yeah,
cool. Affect is the perfect word for it. All right. So let's start with what do you know about the piece? Just talk about basics, yeah?
Yeah. Like basics and context of the show, or just basic.
Start from the beginning. Like, you received this song, right, as an audition side. Tell me just the very basics about it. Composer, when did it come out? What are some of the things? Yeah.
This is Jason Robert Brown is the composer.
Yep.
The show is Parade. I'm not sure when it came out, but
late 90s,
I was gonna say, I feel like it's either late 80s or late 90s.
98, 99, I want to say. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you
the
know-
character who sings this is Jim Conley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about him.
Jim Conley, he was working, he was like a janitor, like night watch person, and basically after the murder happened of Mary Flanagan, someone approached and bribed him to basically lie and say that it was Leo Frank who did this, and he went along with the story and ended up going to jail.
Okay.
And never admitted, but
Sure. Now, he never admitted. Historically, though, they think he's actually the one who did it.
yes.
And we see him a couple of times in the show. We see him in Act 1, but we also see him in Act 2 on the Chain Gang.
Yes.
When the wife has gone to the trouble of trying to overturn.
Yes.
So we actually see him again there. Cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. This was Jason Robert Brown's first Broadway show. So he had done songs for New World and had plenty of other things to his credit, but this was his kind of first
Broadway.
full book musical. Yeah? All right. Great. Into the song. How do you want to start? Just tell me just basics of the song.
Yeah, so the song starts out in D flat major.
Okay.
And this is before he.
Are you sure D flat?
D flat.
What's the first chord?
The first chord is B flat minor.
Ah.
Yeah, so not
Right key signature.
Yeah. Well, I was also thinking it because that is the first. But I noticed that they came to that D flat a lot.
Okay.
In a lot of the vocals, so I was like, I don't know which one it is, but I should just look at the chord.
Well, that's a good way, and that's any good composer knows how to play with enharmonics, right?
Absolutely.
To jump back and forth between major and minor,
Right.
as it were. Cool. So yeah, that's a good place to start, and you're lucky enough that you have the guitar chords written to the parts.
Yes,
So
I
that
actually played it on the guitar.
Did you really?
Yeah, I just like the beginning part.
Sure.
Before I got into the crazy stuff, because I was like, I feel like this would sound cool, just like the one strum singing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Tell me about the. Okay, so that starts out in D flat, and then it changes right away to. Can you tell what that is?
Oh yeah, that's E.
At bar 7. It's not E though. Look at the
Oh yeah, minor. C sharp.
C sharp minor.
C
So
sharp minor.
always, if it's the enharmonic minor, it's down a minor third.
Yeah, down minor third. Yeah.
Right. So if you thought E, but then go down, back it up.
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. C sharp, and then it eventually ends in E minor, and that is your entrance.
And I knew mine was E minor.
Okay.
I knew what I was singing. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Why the minor mode?
Yeah, because I think it's a very daunting piece to especially to go up and basically lie in front of everyone, because you were bribed and got money for it. So it's like having the E minor there and having the boom.
Okay.
Here's what he said.
But here's what's kind of cool is listen to this. Is that chord major or minor?
It sounds very power chordy.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
If you're an electric guitar player, that's exactly what you would think. What's
It is-
missing from this?
Is it the?
Can you tell if it's major or minor?
I can't actively tell if it's.
So what's
yeah.
missing?
I'm gonna say the third.
You are
Yeah,
correct.
the third.
Yeah, there's nothing. So more than just being E minor, in this section, it's wide open.
Right up, exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I like that Jason would do that to just give you that kind of pedal tone.
Right.
And that whole first section is nothing but these big block chords.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Before we get into that, tell me about the form.
Yes, it's mostly verse, chorus, bridge.
Okay, can you be specific? So,
yeah.
what would you call the choral part at the beginning?
The choral part, I don't actually know.
Do you think should we assign it a letter?
I didn't start assigning a letters until he came in.
I agree with you. I agree. So I would just make this intro.
Intro. Okay. Perfect.
My question to you is though, do you know the rest of the show Parade? Is this coming from something?
Yes, this is the whole trial is like a big section, and I'm trying to remember what part of section this is.
So we have this theme. You know what that is? You see that in the writing? In the writing? What's it gonna say? What's he gonna say? What? You know what that is?
Yeah.
Because
they also have that in Rumblin' and Rollin' too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But do you remember the opening of the show?
Yeah. These old red hills.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Right there.
Because it's like the community. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a great way to describe it. So we've got a quotation of Old Red Hills at the very beginning, establishing our community, or in this case, a mob.
Yeah. On this, I'm a mob.
The mob. Okay. But they're unified around. We're still in that zone.
Exactly.
We know what that theme stands for.
Mm-hmm.
The Old Red Hills of Home. Good. Yes. Okay. So intro. Great. So you put your first A at bar 15.
Yes.
As your first. Okay. Great. How far does that go?
Honestly, I kept it at A until measure 45. Because I said that one was A again. Like maybe.
Sure.
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you were to zoom in a little bit, how many themes do you think are in between bar 15 and bar 45?
Yeah. I would say I'm gonna break this up into. I would say like 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
I have from measure 15, going all the way until measure. To measure 28 would be like one big phrase.
All right.
Of that, and then from 30 to. I would say 30 to 32, and then 34 to 38. 34 to 41.
Okay. All right. Let's see if that does anything for you. Let's go right on that. Yeah. Here we go. And.
He told me to watch the door, that's what he said, I should make sure no one came and interrupted. Well, I'd say once or twice a month, he'd tell me, Jim, you watch the door, I got a lady coming. Like I'd say once or twice a month, there'd be a lady come to call, and he'd say, Jim, you watch the door, that's what he said.
Okay. Does that track still for you?
I think so. I feel like there might be I felt like I wanted, just like from 15 to 28, I might even break that section up.
You could. I think it actually functions as really two
sections.
Yeah. I think you're right that it goes to the first lady coming, and then we're back to that. I got a lady coming. Hear that?
Yeah.
That B chord?
Yeah.
And B should bring us back to E, right? But it doesn't. Oh, I said once. Oh, there's more. Yeah, that whole build-up. I feel that's it. Good. All right. Then what happens?
And then this section, I didn't know maybe to put it as like an A prime starting at 45.
Okay.
Because it's basically the same, but just I think there are some minor differences. But that's mostly.
What's the biggest difference?
It's the bass part in the piano.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Take that verse to 5, 6, 7.
He told me to watch the door, that's what he said, I got a girl, she'll be coming up to see me, she's a very pretty girl, he said, don't let me catch you looking at Miss Mary Perkins, so when Miss Mary came to call, I kept my eyes down to the floor, cause Mr. Frank said not to look, that's what he said.
Any new information?
I feel.
So adding the beat to it just does what?
Yeah, it makes me feel more solidified. It makes and I guess like to inform acting, it sounds like having the open chords in the beginning makes it seem like he's a little bit nervous to start telling the story. But this is like, okay, no, I practiced this enough. I'm ready to
You're
go.
in?
Yeah,
Good. So
I
the
feel locked in.
confidence.
Yeah.
You're like committed to the lie
Exactly.
now. Good. I love that. I love that. There's a Jason Robert Brown ism here that I want to show you. One of the things he does, he is notorious for, is the syncopation at the end of the measure. So would you find me, please? This is page 182, bottom system.
Yeah.
Take a look. Ben Perkins. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hear that? He loves that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's an eighth note across the bar line, but he really, really favors that syncopation right at the end of the bar. Like think just about anything he does.
Oh yeah.
Like if I could pull out 13. 13 is chock full of those little do ba da dee da ju ba da da, right? Let's see. I don't know if. Yeah, he loves it. Cool. All right. Then you have interlude, which does what for you? 71. What does this do?
For the next part, it says he said we were playing a game, and I don't know why, but that to me, and I don't think that the character is having fun while doing this, but hearing that makes it just appear to be a little bit more upbeat, and like it's like a weirdly, in my head, it sounds weirdly positive.
Okay.
It also sounds like a
what does it do in your body?
Yeah, it makes me like want to like relax and groove into
That's
it. That's
it. Yeah, the relaxation. I love that. Yeah. You remember we talked about the style of this?
I tried to write it down. Was it Huckle something? And I looked at the Muppet song that we referenced to, and I was like, I wanted to call it Huckleberry song, but it's not Huckleberry at all.
Rockabilly.
I was like, Huckleberry Muppet song, but rockabilly.
But
yeah,
again, Jason Robert Brown actually really likes this beat.
Yeah.
Got ba 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 ba. There's a couple of songs of his that feel this way. That we feel this. All right, cool. I don't know. Certainly wasn't in early 20th century when Parade takes place. That was not. That was. We're talking 60s, 70s,
Exactly.
kind of out of the folk rock. Like kind of this melding of country and classic rock. But why a rockabilly for this?
Yeah, I feel like this part of this, like, I think as more as we're going into the story and the song, the more exposition it feels like, and I feel like, almost as like if he's telling like a folk story, like he's telling like a song and he's passing it down, or like this will be passed on or something. But that's what it kind of feels like.
What do you think the not the audience, but the people in the courtroom, including the jury, what do you think that music does for them?
Yeah, it probably really.
What do you want it to do? What do you want it to do?
You want them to pay attention. You want them to hone in on it. Yeah.
You want them to agree with you? Do you want them to feel comfortable with you? And now, see, here's the thing about Parade in general, right? Is putting a black man on the stand in this time period. Like even being in the same room, like near all the white people in a time when Georgia was extremely segregated. Can you imagine the discomfort? Of just being in the same room.
Right. How uncomfortable. Yeah.
Now we got this rockabilly going, and your whole audience is like, okay,
no worries.
I can get behind this.
Yeah. What does he say? Right. Yeah.
See, like,
no, because he has to know what he. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Here we go. And this is right. 1, 2, 3.
He said we were playing a game, that's what he said, And little Mary's kinda crumbled in the corner. He said, you don't understand, she didn't want to play the game, and so I went and hit her. See, I had to hit her. He told me I should go and look. He said she's acting like she's sick, and I said, Lord, that child is dead, that's what I said.
what is that? What did we hit right there?
What is it called?
103.
103. Yeah, I wrote that as section B.
That is the first
Yes,
B.
the first
Literally
B.
the first
Measure
true
103.
B. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could argue if you wanted to split that verse into an A and a B, A and a B, A and a B, then this would be a C.
Yeah.
Splitting hairs. Whatever it does for you. So we'll call this B for now. Cool. All right. Tell me about it.
Yeah. I think it's still carrying out that rockabilly like style and theme for the for this chunk of the song, but I think I feel something change on, and so I went and hit her at 88.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and I think at 89 there's like a little musical thing in the piano part.
Yeah, that I didn't do very well. So.
Yeah, that's
That?
what it is. Yeah.
That little suspension, yeah. All right, I like that.
Yeah.
So that's the actual.
Yeah.
That's the hit. Ooh, all right, nice. So that is what. So now we've got violence introduced. Is that what allows us to go to the B? Tell me about that. Like we're still over B, and remember it's. Right?
Yeah.
Those hits. It's those hits.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
All right, try it from no. And he said 2.
And he said, no, it ain't my fault. That girl is dead. He said, no, that's what he said. He said, no, and his eyes were round and his face was red. He said, no, that's what he said.
1, 2, 3, and aha, that's it.
That one's hard, yeah.
That's okay. That's that
I
3
need
2
to
bar.
catch it, yeah.
And that's it's a really kind of cool part. That's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said. Like your crowd. Now, this is what's kind of cool about this.
Yeah.
Abstractly, it's everybody's coming up with these ideas. They start talking
Right.
over each other. That's why nobody can finish a sentence.
Exactly.
I feel it's a little bit like, God, that's good. That is the have you licious ever.
Yes.
How nobody can finish a
the
thought.
Right.
Cool. And we have that stupid 3 2 bar for whatever reason. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. He said.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. He said.
Gotta get her out, let's get her out. That's what he said.
That's what he said.
And so I found it's this old gunny socking after. He said, you're a good boy, Jim. I know you won't tell no one nothing. Here's $100.
No, can't be true.
I got $100. And so I put her on my back. We took the elevator down. He said, just blow her to the ground. That's what he said. Yes,
Another
he said,
B.
No, there ain't no reason I should hang. He said, no, that's what he said. He said, no, there ain't no reason I should hang. You got money in your
All
pocket.
right, what is this?
Yes, I said that I put this as C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Defend that.
Yeah, because I think the no hit is the same B chorus, but I think as soon the you got money in your pocket, this feels personal. Like this feels like so personal,
like a personal attack.
So personal, and it's like a complete switch. And here's what I say. I think it gets really personal because there ain't no reason I should hang, and I think like in his mind, hearing someone else say that would be like, that's a personal attack on me. Like, they're not hanging white people around here. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
All right. This is like, at least it's not me.
No, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. There is something theoretically magical about this part that we're going to mark as C. Take a look at the music. What do you notice? I'm going to play it and just listen.
It feels like it's like ascending.
It is.
Yeah, it's definitely ascending.
But there's something really important happening in my left hand. or not happening, as it were.
Wait, can you play one more time?
Yep.
Yeah.
Track it. And if you look at the guitar chords, you're going to notice something. 2, 3, 4.
It just you're playing the same tune. Wait, yeah.
The same what?
The
You're so close.
The same open chord. Like, I don't know
What does it say? What's the chord symbol in the first bar?
It's just C.
It's C.
Yeah.
And then what's the next one?
D over C.
D over C. Next one?
C.
C. Next one?
D over C.
D over C. Next one?
C. Yeah.
It is literally the same chord, and we have what's called a pedal tone in the bass.
Okay.
The pedal tone.
Yeah.
So, why pedal? What does that usually do?
Yeah, I don't think I know what specifically a pedal tone.
So it's just the pedal tone is that C. It never changes.
Oh, yes, yeah, okay,
it
perfect.
never moves.
Perfect.
And you'll hear a lot of times where songs. Let's see if I let's say we're going C to F, just basic 5 7 1.
Right.
What if I do this and I sit on this? To delay the tension,
yes.
And I could do anything I wanted to in my right hand. I was playing all manner of chords in my right hand that weren't necessarily a 5/7 chord.
Yeah.
But because I had that C underneath,
Exactly.
I always knew that I needed to get from eventually.
No, tension was the perfect word because I was saying that it felt like he was spiraling, but he knew what he was saying, but it was like a spiral. But I think tension is such like a more like succinct way, this even acting wise as well. Because this, I feel like there's just so much in all of this that it's so personal. And having that tension and then the final release, Stupid Redneck's Never Gonna Know.
Right.
I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you're calling his wife dumb and fat.
Exactly.
Can you see how, whether he did it or didn't do it, that this man has a grudge
Yes.
against Leo Frank?
Yes.
For whatever reason. You're
Yeah.
white. You're from New York.
Right,
you're
right.
more wealthy than I am.
Exactly.
Whatever it might be,
Yeah.
you're just like, God, everything about this guy just pisses me off.
Exactly.
And yeah, I think you're right. I think you were so smart to find out that this is personal in this. And by the time you get to Stupid Redneck, how cathartic
Right.
is it to yell Stupid Redneck in front of a whole room full of white people?
Exactly. No, yeah. Right.
So he's getting joy out of this.
Exactly.
He's
No,
getting
that's
to
what I
say
was-
everything he's ever wanted to say to the white
Exactly.
man.
Right. Because he knows that the blame is not being placed on him for once.
Right.
Right.
Now,
Well, to an extent.
the craziest part about this is how it goes from here to E flat and eventually lands on D minor. I think D minor is our tonic for the next section.
Yeah.
And it's not even that we do C to D minor, which is that nice flat 7/1 in the minor mode.
Yeah.
That's right. Stupid redneck's never gonna know. You feel that?
Yeah.
Except he sideswipes it and gives us deceptive. Stupid redneck's never gonna go.
Right. Like, I'm not done yet.
Ooh, I love that. Good. So, money in your pocket. 2, 3. You got money in your pocket. And there's plenty. Oh, those are your notes. Money in your pocket. 1, 2, 3. You got money in your pocket.
And there's plenty more of that. I got broken friends and family and a wife who's dumb and fat. And I got rich folks out in Brooklyn if I need somewhere to go. And these stupid rednecks never gonna know. No, it ain't my fault that girl he said no. No, that's what he said. He said no, no. And his eyes were out, his face was red. He said no.
To that, and we sit on another pedal tone on that E flat all the way through, and we kind of never resolve, right?
No.
I feel feel like someone left the cake out in the rain.
Yes.
I feel like Donna Summer. Does that fit our key signature at all? This E flat, F over E flat. Because what's the key signature giving us?
He's giving us
G minor.
Yeah.
G minor or B flat major, which is not bad.
Right.
But
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Why are we not giving a big like
I think it's because it's not over yet. The trial isn't over yet. So this is just one person's story. Like, and even though I think obviously the crowd is like, yeah, hang him,
Right.
like they're on his side. I think it's just like a common thing that like, even though that was a good take, there's still more things that we need to hear.
Okay.
And maybe like dramaturgically in the show, maybe rather than like this song in particular.
all right. So good reason not to just give it a button.
Exactly.
It's still open.
Yeah.
It's still wide open.
Which I really like in this one because in the revival one that was just on Broadway, it's so much different because it does have that button. And he ends the song with "That's what he said," but this one he never says "That's what he said" again. It's just "No,"
Oh.
which is so cool. Yeah.
That is really cool. Now, like, he had energy around that Hal Prince production. I mean,
Yeah.
it was his first Broadway show. There was a lot that, and especially with somebody like Hal Prince at the helm of it, that was a major event. You don't say no.
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But when he was able to revive it at the Donmar Warehouse, that's when he first made huge revisions to it. Added stuff for the governor, fleshed out some of the dramaturgy, right? Added some music, and then in this other Broadway now, the newest Broadway revival, we've got new discoveries, right? Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your next step now? So this is good analysis. What's the next step?
I think the next step for this song in particular, I think I was doing a good job of like seeing what in the piano part and what in the orchestration could inform my acting, but maybe doing some like lyric analysis, but do that overlaying with the music theory.
Okay.
I think would be my next step, and then also look a little bit more into the styles, because I feel like he introduces something else in like each one of those sections, and I think that'd be cool. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Zion.
No, thank you, Dan.
Good.